Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I have my second Fountain Day purchase right here. So I considered saving this for the last Fountain Pen Day purchase video, but I'm just going to go ahead and unbox this little beauty. I did have a viewer comment on the first video asking if I got this pen. So that's why I'm changing the order. So the answer to your question, viewer, is yes. Yes, I did. If you didn't see my first Fountain Pen Day video, I placed an order through Stilo and Steel. This brand right here. And on Fountain Pen Day, they had 10% off, and then they also had an exclusive. And was a collaboration between Radius and Stilo and Steel, and it was actually built in the Leonardo factory. So I will be comparing this pen to a Leonardo, but let's get this unboxed. So with it being a limited edition, there is a limited quantity of these pens. There were a total of 224 of these pens made. I have number 15 out of 224. Similar to a Leonardo, this comes with a little charm right here that's clipped in. And it is this really beautiful kind of night sky, dark blue resin with flakes and little swirls of light blue and white, and there's a little shimmer to it. It's just absolutely stunning. Now, I did get an extra fine nib, and the nib says Radius Superior 1934. And then on the side here, it has an EF for extra fine. The ends are tapered, beveled, not beveled. I can't think of the word right now, but they do come to a little point on both the end of the pen body as well as the cap. Turning, it is one turn to twist off the cap. And one thing that I did notice, because I have had this for a few days and I have held it, used it very little, kind of a dip test, is that the edge of the cap is actually a little, not sharp. It's not going to hurt you, but it certainly is a little blunt. I think might be the right word to use. Now, looking at this pen comparative to some other models in my collection, I do have a bunch that I have prepared. So first of all, I have a Pilot Vanishing Point or capless Decimo and a TWSBI Eco. This one's a white and rose gold. So there's a little size comparison. They're similar in length, but different in, I guess, kind of girth or width. Next, I will compare it to the Esterbrook Estie and a Leonardo Momento Zero. So it is a little bit longer than the Leonardo Momento Zero, and it is shorter than the Esterbrook Estie. Next up, I will do a Laban 325 and a Waterman Carène. So again, similar in length. The Laban is a little bit longer, and the Carène is about the same, but the specifically the back end of a Carène is tapered. Next, I will compare it to two littles. I have a Sailor Pro Gear Slim and a Kaweco Sport. So you can see the size difference with those two. And certainly last but not least, I have a Lamy 2000 and an Opus 88. So some of these pens I do think are relatively common in people's collections. So that's why I wanted to compare them. All right. And let's do a little test, a little writing test. So like I said, I have done a dip test, and I'm just going to use a jar of water and make sure. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out about this is the ink cartridge screws in, which I just think is awesome. Now, there appears to be probably from one of my dip tests. A little bit of ink in there. There we go. All right. So I have cleaned that out. Let me just do a little dry. And like I said, there are threads there. It screws in, which I'm really excited about, having a converter that screws in that manner. Now, just really quick, let me make sure that this nib is clean, which it sure did have some of the ink in it that I used for the dip test. All right, let me just put that down so that I can pull out any moisture. All right, and I'm going to ink this up with Birmingham Pen Company Blackberry Jam. I don't often use blues, but I do have some really nice blues. So I'm thinking this pen might be a nice little excuse to increase that usage. Now, I am not going to fill this completely. I am just going to do a little baby fill because it is on the back end of November, and this is not one of the inks that I'm considering for December, so I just don't want to have to waste. All right, so let's do a little writing sample. This is a Galen Leather Co. Everyday Notebook. So excited. Okay, so this is a Radius Setimo. It's an exclusive. Also limited edition. And it is a collaboration between Stilo and Steel and Radius. Now, I'm thinking of this right now. This can be capped. It is actually feels like a pretty secure capping. For me, it makes it a little on the lengthier side. And I often will talk about if I'm in a setting where I'm nervous about putting the cap down and perhaps it falling or getting lost in some capacity, I will always post it. Otherwise, I'm okay having it unposted. But there are a few pens in my collection, for example, my Sailors and my Pelicans, that I will very consistently post because they are on the, and Kaweco, because they are on the shorter side. But the rest of my pens, if I have a surface that I trust, I will place the cap down. Okay, so this is an extra fine nib, and it is a steel nib. It is number 15 out of 224, and it's inked up with Birmingham Pen Co. Blackberry Jam. So this is a really comfortable pen for me. It's it is a light pen, so there certainly are times or writing sessions that I prefer to have a pen with some heft or weight to it. And when I think about heft or weight, I think about the Waterman Corinne, I think about the Pilot Fermo, which is back weighted, and I love it for the fact that it's back weighted. But this is a lighter pen. This reminds me very much of a Pelikan or the custom pen that I have through Zodiac Pen Co., my Sailors. It is a light pen. So I do enjoy that. I enjoy this little lip here. I will certainly take it for a few long writing session drives and see how I feel about it. But so far, I am really enjoying this. And I mentioned in my last video that I did get a mini cursive smooth italic nib. That was a custom grind, and that can go on this pen as well as the Leonardo that I purchased as well and had in my first fountain pen day video. So I'm really excited about that. Let's just do some line strokes. It is pretty consistent. There's maybe a little bit, the tiniest little bit of line variation from the side strokes to the down strokes. It keeps up with fast writing. It has a good wet flow. That was an immediate. This was after 5 seconds. I'm able to see the blue, kind of blue-black or grayish-blue of this ink, which is really nice. Yeah, this is a very nice experience. I am very excited to have a Radius Setimo pen, and I'm seeing quite a few different resin versions of the Setimo across a number of different fountain pen sites. I believe Atlas Stationers just did a mailing with some different models of the Radius Setimo. So yeah, it's a really lovely pen, and I love the band here. It's so beautiful. So this is my second fountain pen day pen, and it was the Stilo and Steel exclusive, which is exactly what I wanted, and I could not be happier to have this in my collection. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I appreciate you spending the time with me today. I hope you have a wonderfully productive rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.